This podcast may contain adult language and themes, or it might not. We're not really sure. We haven't recorded it yet.
I'm Jason.
I'm Diggs.
I make software, music, and podcasts.
I connect people personally and professionally, and I like talking with Jason.
This is the Candy Factory 5x5 podcast.
5 conversations.
5 random topics.
5 minutes each.
When we hear this sound,
we move on to the next topic. Next.
On every episode, we invite a very special guest to join us. That's right, and on this episode, that very special guest is Jamy.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's good to see you, Jamy. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name's Jamy Kunjappu. I've been here at the Candy Factory for about 7.5 years now. Time really, really flies, and I really enjoy it here. Enjoy the people, enjoy the atmosphere. It's a great place. Great place to work out of.
So I've known you for like 7 years.
Yeah, I still kind of remember the first time we met. You were working in the one building kind of closer to Central Market.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we came to this building, and yeah.
You've been through it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great to have you on the program. It's been a long time in coming.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us today. And speaking of the Candy Factory, the co-working space in which we work, all three of us, we couldn't do this program without the support of the Candy Factory. It is the true mothership for what we do. If you're an entrepreneur, remote worker, student, or anyone who just needs a place to come and work with other people in a very safe way, you can come to the Candy Factory. Visit Co-working in Lancaster for all of the details. Recently we rolled out a new membership level. Well, we sort of consolidated some memberships. It is a $100 a month, use the space anytime you want membership, and it's really fantastic. So you can get in. That is a mailbox for your business. That is a place to work with other people safely during our business hours, which have recently expanded to include Saturdays and a couple of evenings till 7 o'clock. That's Tuesdays and Thursdays. So coworkinginlancaster.com for more on the Candy Factory. In the meantime, we have business to take care of, gentlemen. This is episode 36 of 5x5, the Candy Factory 5x5 podcast. It is a gift that we give the internet a couple of times a month. The way the show works is my iPad, his name is Frank, is going to dish up 5 random topics, and we're going to talk about each of those topics for 5 minutes. Frank will give us a little cue out, and we will move on to the next topic. I am joined every week, well, not every week, actually, every episode by my friend Diggs. It's always a pleasure to see you, my friend.
You too.
We've been doing this a long time.
Yeah,
it's been a year. Has it been a year?
Next month.
We got to figure out our milestones so we can properly celebrate. We don't do that. I don't do that well enough. In any event, it's time to get started. You guys feel good?
Yeah,
Feel real good.
Frank, tell us what topic number 1 is for this episode of 5x5. Superfoods. Jamie, you're like a food guy, aren't you?
Yeah, we talked about superfoods. We used to eat a superfood together at lunchtime. It's been a couple of years now, and I'll give you a hint. You developed a allergy to this superfood.
Yes.
What's the superfood I'm talking about, Jason?
Sardines.
That's a superfood?
Hell
Sardines
yeah, it is.
Considered a superfood. Yeah.
Hell yeah, it is.
Wait. Let's start at the beginning. What exactly is a superfood then? Because sardines is just like stupid. It's shit to me. So I need a definition.
But I consider it a natural food source that is high in, could be protein, vitamins, antioxidants, a lot of
good
packed
stuff
with a lot of healthy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Is this that green Adwala? What was
Kombucha.
that called? No, it wasn't kombucha. I think it's still around. A company called Adwala that made this like smoothie type thing that I think was all supposed to be superfoods. And I thought superfoods were like just vegetables. I didn't realize it was also like meat and stuff like that. So good to know. I've learned something new. So how long did you do this superfood lunch?
Oh my God.
There's somebody else involved too, but we used to bring cans of sardines in different styles and flavors and brands.
Yeah, that's right. My friend Young Lewis, who was a member here at the Candy Factory for a while, he would also indulge in the sardines. We just basically had a stockpile. Really, I don't know if you remember, but for some reason I was collecting sardines. I had people bring in to donate cans. I remember I had a desk drawer full. There was about 20 or 25 cans of sardines in my desk drawer. I'm pretty sure that the plan.
You're preparing for an apocalypse? Like what? I don't understand.
I knew 2020 was coming. This was like 5 years ago. I was like, I feel it. There's something coming.
Yeah. Sardines any style. Sardines with mustard, spring water, olive oil, hot sauce.
I think the goal was to have a festival. I think we were gonna have like a Saturday.
Well, we're gonna have
like
some kind of lunch get together and crack open a bunch of these sardines and just go at it.
Almost like a food truck day, but it would just be like Sardine Fest, Sardina-palooza.
Oh God, this sounds terrible.
Remarkably, like at least 10 people donated. They
because they wanted to get it out of their house. They didn't want it in their house anymore, so they were like, "Oh, here's this noob who's just like, hey, I took all your sardines," and then you got allergic to it.
Then I got allergic to seafood one day, remarkably, when I was like 47 years old. I have no idea how that happened, but so yeah, it was. So look, I don't know what anybody else says about I don't care what the experts say. Like this is the age of the anti-science anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. If sardines are not considered superfood, like on Wikipedia, I don't care. I'm, as of right now, designated sardines as not only a superfood, but an uber superfood, like the top tier. Yeah, this is like top 1%.
And if we're wrong about the sardines, there's some other superfoods that I know are superfoods.
Please.
Blueberries, almonds, and then I can't think of anything after that. At the
Like
moment,
quinoa? Is quinoa a superfood? No.
might be spinach.
Spinach is awesome.
Okay.
No, the reason when you said that is because I love blueberries and I love almonds. I ate a lot of blueberries.
Careful, you'll be allergic soon.
And a lot of spinach. I know. I mean, I feel like maybe that's coming. And I do think that, this is a little bit of a sidebar on the seafood allergy thing. But I was such a big tuna fan and sardine fan, like canned fish fan, that I do think maybe it had something to do with developing this ailment, this issue that I have. I can't back that up with any evidence at all. But I used to eat that stuff at least 3 or 4 times a week. So I don't. Maybe someone could comment on something here throughout this whole media adventure and tell me if I'm way off base. It'd be nice to have a doctor or somebody chime in on that. You know what else is a superfood is the acai. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I used to pronounce it acai, but you're probably right. It always seemed like it was the acai berry.
Acai. Yeah, my kids got me on that stuff, and it's apparently a berry that it spoils very quickly, and so they freeze it. That's why its most popular form is in the smoothies, because it's like as soon as it's harvested. This is what I've heard. Again, I make a lot of stuff up, Jamie. So don't, you know what I mean? But then when it's harvested, like it doesn't have a long life. But in any event, this meal is over, my friends. It is time to move on to topic number 2 of this episode's 5x5, which is
allergies.
What did you want to be? There were a lot of words there. What did you want to be when you grew up? What? I'm assuming this means when you were a kid.
Yeah.
What did you want to be later? Not after you grew up. What did you want to be? But what did you want to be when you grew up when you were a kid?
Yeah.
What did you want to be when you grew up? So, Jamie, take us back. Take us back to the early years.
Yeah. First thing that comes to mind is I grew up in Northeast Philadelphia, and I'd always watch the Phillies. And one of my favorite baseball players was Mike Schmidt. So I always wanted to be a baseball player. So that was the first thing that popped into my mind when you said that.
Based on the fact that that I often see you in the candy factory sitting behind a laptop in the main hall, I'm guessing that didn't work out.
Yeah, I've been waiting for the call, but I haven't received it. I know the Phillies are kind of busy these days, so yeah, that call hasn't come through. Maybe
What's going on? Keep the faith, my friend. Keep the faith. Diggs, how about you?
So I think we have talked about how I have a love for all things transportation before. So I oscillated between wanting to be a Greyhound driver or a train conductor as a kid.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like all in on the like. I want to be moving in transportation somehow, some way. This is back when the Greyhound drivers had like the gray suit and they looked really fresh when they were driving. Now I don't think they give a shit.
No, totally not.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not the same thing. I'll still give a shout out to the Amtrak conductors because at least they still look pretty, put together as they work.
They do look sharp. It's sort of like the airline. The flight attendant was a really prestigious sort of. I remember as a kid in the '70s, it was like get on an airplane. It was like they were sort of. Of course, they still drive. Southwest sort of started to change that though. It's sort of like the first. Southwest they just do like the. It's sort of like when teachers stopped wearing ties all the time. Just like something changed. There was a shift.
They had to cut the budget somewhere. So
yeah, absolutely. Just go out and buy yourself a nice golf shirt, and we'll see you on the flight.
Yeah.
I was early on a clown guy. I wanted to be a clown, and I was a clown for Halloween. I think I was third grade, maybe I was 8, and I had this awesome babysitter, who was in hindsight this like 18, 19-year-old pot smoking hippie, but at the time that didn't that didn't mean anything to me. And she was really creative, and she would she introduced me to all kinds of weird stuff. And one of the things was she was like, we were talking about clowns, and she was, you want to be a clown for Halloween? I was, yeah, I want to be a clown. So she went out and got me all this makeup. Like, where did you even get that stuff back in like 1978? She got all this makeup and taught me how to kind of put it on with the powder and then the foundation and then the white paint and all that kind of stuff. So I was a clown. And I thought, well, that'd be a great job. I'd be a clown.
Yeah.
That didn't last very long. Then I kind of went through I went through a truck driver. Which must have been BJ and the Bandit days, if anyone remembers that television program from back in the 1800s. Anyway, that was a truck driver who had a monkey named Bandit, I think. Was the monkey's name.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like the Adventures. So, so that made a lot of sense.
Is this a cartoon?
No. It was like a Friday night drama.
Got it.
BJ and the Bandit. And then a comedian. I wanted to be a comedian.
How's that working out?
No, it's terrible. It's terrible. I think I'm funny as hell, but apparently I'm a minority in that regard. So not a lot of people concur with that assumption. So those are my kind of 3 things that I remember: a stand-up comedian, truck driver, and a clown. I ended up making software. So,
I mean, there's no tie-ins to any of that. So
no, there's not at all.
I'm not even going to try.
No, I just needed to make some cash, and the whole comedian thing, it just terrifies me now as a grown up. It's sort of like heights, when I'm up high on a like a ski lift or something like that, I'm just like, my whole body just shrivels up. I'm terrified. It's like seafood allergy. Like, as I've gotten older, I just sort of crumbled. You know what I mean? Yeah. Dix, why didn't you ever go into transport? I know you love trains. Like, what was
I don't think that I would actually do, or like, I think the repetitiveness would bore me to tears. Like, I like
the first week it would be awesome, and then it would be like, what the hell am I doing here?
Right. Like, I feel like we can talk about like growing up as in way later in life. I definitely could see me doing like conducting on like the Strasburg Railroad.
Hey,
like something like that, like later in life, but not right now.
I'm afraid to say that the train has left the station on topic number 2 of this episode's 5x5. It is time for topic number 3, which is Monopoly, the game.
Ooh.
Monopoly, the game.
What's your piece?
Oh my God, it's been like 30 years since I played Monopoly.
I always like the thimble. For some reason, I would always go for the thimble.
The thimble was a good piece. I think Top Hat is where I would have landed.
Huh.
I would have been a Top Hat guy.
I was the car, so I think.
Wow,
we're
we
good.
didn't have any duplicates.
No, we're good.
I don't remember a lot about playing Monopoly. Like I just remember it being the game that you would start like with your cousins, and it would and the parents must have had something to do with this because it would last like 3 days, and it would just keep us over in the corner. You know what I mean? Like, hey, why don't you guys play Monopoly? Go ahead and get started. We'll pick you up on Tuesday. Do you guys play Monopoly? Have you played like recently? Is this a thing?
No, it's been years.
We
Jamie?
played Monopoly recently. The problem in my house is board game pieces don't last. Like they get lost really easily.
Is it the goats? Do they eat them?
It's maybe a combination of the goats and the dog and the young kids.
We should probably clarify that to our listeners and our viewers that when I say the goats, you actually do have goats.
Yeah, we have about 10, 12.
You have 10 goats now.
13 goats, I think, yeah. Some of them are pregnant at the moment, so
So you have more on the way.
Oh,
yeah, more on the way.
What do you do? Like, are you selling them?
Mostly it's the kids are involved in 4-H, so they raise them and learn about them, learn how to take care of them and stuff. It was never really a for-profit venture.
Of course,
kind of like a break-even venture right now.
If you're lucky, kind of thing. Like you're scraping to just get like let's get some cheese going here
Yeah,
or something
well-
so we can make some cash.
Yeah, actually, the kids they do make some money at they show at the farm show and the fair, so they'll actually get some money there from people that support businesses that support the EFRA fair and stuff. So they do actually make some money with that way. And
I don't want to go too far down this trail, but but I am curious. Like, are they producing product like goat milk and goat cheese and that sort of, or is it just and a follow up to that is what makes a goat win a thing at a fair? Like
so they these aren't dairy goats; these are meat goats. So they're bred for their muscle.
Got it.
So
for dinner, they're bred for dinner. So what makes a good goat?
Yeah.
If I took one to the fair and I entered it into the thing that you do at the fair.
Yeah, it's all about if my wife was here, she wouldn't take 5 minutes. She'll take like 150. She'll take 500 minutes.
So this is a thing.
She can talk about this forever. Yeah. To answer your question, it's proportion of their body and muscle. You want to have muscle in the right places, and they have judges that come and they know how to look at a goat and see the proportions, and they can. If you put up two goats next to each other, you can tell. Well, it takes a trained eye, but
I was
you
going
can
to
kind of
say,
tell. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell if you don't know much about it.
No, right. I mean, there's zero chance that if you lined up two goats that you'd say which one would win or which one would come in. You know, which one would be better than the other one. I'd be like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I do have a question on the Monopoly side real quick, just in terms of house rules, because this has caused fights at times. Not that we're playing, but just in terms of like, what did you do with community chest? And like, did you actually get to the point where you were like mortgaging properties? Like, did you have like, do you remember how you settled those? Did you even understand what mortgaging meant as a kid? Because I remember I was kind of like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah, that part was confusing as a kid. I remember just trying to get Park Place and Boardwalk. I wanted to bid on those and buy those and charge rent. That's one of my main. That's my main goal. Yeah.
that's it, right? That's the hot property.
Oh yeah.
Like you actually like that's all I remember as a goal. Like I don't even and the whole pass go 200, whatever that thing was. That it's now like a cliche.
Yeah.
Get out of jail free card is a cliche.
Yeah, and there's the opposite strategy too, where you try to go for the low cost properties and just try to build really big on them. You know, because the hotels and the houses were cheap to build on these low cost. Baltic Ave, I think, was one of them.
Baltic.
Go big on those and just try to charge big rent on those.
I definitely did that. And the utilities. The utilities were clutch. Because I think it was like you paid, was it 10% of whatever you had? Or it was some weird thing where like you would end up getting like, it kept going up the more utilities you owned. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
And the funniest, I think I suggested this topic because my great uncle who passed years ago, he bought me Monopoly as a 4-year-old for Christmas, and like literally like had me sit down and try to learn how to play it right then. So like Monopoly has a long history with with me.
Game over.
Ah,
Topic number 4 for this episode's 5x5 is favorite season and why. Favorite season and why.
not summer.
You- so it's like
Is
a
that
negative.
fair?
You just omit summer and everything's good.
I'd be so happy if we didn't have summer. It's the humidity of summer that kills me around here. I don't mind heat, but I hate feeling sticky and drippy and just like you can't get away from it. Ugh, I hate that. But that wasn't the question.
Sort of.
Sort of. But my toss up is the toss up between spring and fall. I think I prefer the leaves on the ground more. And I love layering and having sweaters and whatnot. So I'll go fall. That's my
Okay.
answer. For
Fall.
now.
So that's like aligned with 27% of Americans who say fall is their favorite season. Jamie, where do you land on the?
Well, I don't know if I have a favorite season, but I know my least favorite time of year. So
You
when
guys
it's
are just
cold, when it's
negative. You guys are just negative.
yeah, when
Sorry.
it's really cold out. So Christmas gets me through the winter, New Year's gets me through the winter, but then you have this kind of period, February and March, especially when it's windy and cold. That's my least favorite time of year. I mean, you have Valentine's Day in there and Super Bowl that kind of gets you through there, but
Yeah,
boy,
but no,
those-
you're right. It's actually after Valentine's, so mid-February, like the 15th, 16th of February, there's just a drop off. Now we are in central Pennsylvania for those who might be listening globally on the internet. This is so we are speaking specifically about the weather here, and it is just, you're right. March is kind of a dreadful. At least the second half of February, the first half of March consistently. And so often, that just drags on now through even April. It's just cold. It's that 40 to 50 and rain
Yep.
is the sort of way.
and the wind.
And the wind. Yeah. But you know what? I'm a glass half full kind of guy, and I'm going to talk about my favorite season, not my least favorite season, which is right now, which is fall. I love the fall, and it's actually really specifically. I have my own. I just made up my own seasons, which is the middle of August, till the middle of November. I know that fall technically goes all the way up till December 21st, but ish. But that 3-month period for me is key. I love late summer. I love the sound of the back to school bugs, and then when we get into September and October. I just love it. I like the little chill in the air. I like to put a fire on, but it's not bitter cold yet. I like the fleece.
Yeah, you got your jeans, you got your sweatshirts,
That's right. Maybe some
apple
long
cider.
johns. Absolutely. Oh,
Can I
Pumpkin
just
spice.
clarify that?
Am I allowed to say that? Pumpkin spice.
yeah, we did pumpkin. Oh, for crying out loud! Put that on the list.
Pumpkin spice?
Pumpkin spice.
Not my favorite. My wife would probably, the girls. We have a shout out for the girls, right?
That's
Pumpkin
right.
spice.
I like pumpkin. Hey, no, I'm a pumpkin spice guy. I just had some pumpkin. Listen to this.
Why?
I just had some pumpkin butternut squash pasta sauce. So it's like,
But that's not pumpkin spice. That's like actual. That's different. I'm okay with that. Pumpkin spice is just like, just call it cinnamon and whatever the hell else it is. Like why?
for
why
crying
is
out
it?
loud, Diggs.
It's not pumpkin. It's so I don't. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Just like everybody thinks that Oktoberfest like beers are supposed to have like pumpkin stuff in it. It's like no.
Well,
it's
no, that's
like,
not true. Yeah, no, I would argue that. But no, I like so you're differentiating between anything it's relatively real pumpkin and this flavoring called pumpkin spice, which is this thing that makes coffee not taste so great. Because I'm more of a purist when it comes to the coffee, but when it comes to like milkshakes, I'll take the pumpkin spice milkshake all the way to the bank. Like I have no problem with those.
I've never heard of a pumpkin spice milkshake. Who makes that? I'm not trying it. I don't. But
Locally, Prince Street Cafe had one of the best ones I'd ever had. And there's a place called Suns over on Fruitville Pike. Is that what it's called, Suns? My daughter claims is the best one, but I felt like that Prince Street Cafe had the best. I don't know if they still do. I'm assuming they still do. But yeah, it would come in, it would be like, It would it's pumpkin spice season, and they would have their milkshake. But what's interesting about pumpkin spice is I challenged somebody one time, what is another seasonal flavor? Like when you say
For fall?
like no, just like pumpkin spice is the like it's only in the fall and it's just like associated with the fall. Like is there another seasonal flavor that is as dominant as
I just think of apple cider, which we already said before, but I don't know if that's an actual
not
flavor.
like pumpkin spice. Like there's
Right.
nothing like what's the pumpkin spice equivalent?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I keep coming up with foods and drinks.
Well, it doesn't matter because this season has ended, my friends, and it's time for topic number 5 of this episode's 5x5. The final topic: glasses or contacts. Glasses or Did you wear glasses, Diggs?
Reading glasses. So you.
Oh, that's right. I see you in
Probably
those
never-
in the blue blockers and stuff like that.
The blue blocker. I wear blue blockers a lot. That's mostly just because. So I have a stigmatism that's very light sensitive, and I'm typically okay with a backlit situation. So like looking at a computer screen doesn't typically bother me.
Right.
Or it doesn't trigger my stigmatism related issues. That paper does because it's not a constant light source because it's reflecting whatever light is around.
Right.
So that drives me nuts, and that's usually when I need my glasses. But the blue blockers are just useful for eye strain
Right.
in general. It just makes my life so much easier, especially now that, my job is 100% remote by nature, but, when everything went remote during the quarantine, those blue blockers saved my life in a big, big way. So no contacts for me.
No contacts, Jamie.
Yeah, I don't wear. I only wear sunglasses. I don't have glasses or
You're
contacts.
a rock star. You're a movie star.
But actually, my wife and I have been talking about. She wears glasses and contacts. Been talking about laser eye surgery.
Yeah.
So trying to set some money aside to get that done. We have some friends and family that have had that, and it worked out really well for them.
Yeah, the LASIK thing.
Yeah.
I've toyed around with that stuff came out. I was probably in college or late high school when that became a thing. It used to be super expensive. I started wearing glasses when I was 8. So I went to the eye doctor and they were like, "Hey, you got to wear glasses." And I went and got the dorky, brown. Well, actually, they look kind of like these. But anyway,
Coke bottle level or
no, well, not at the time. Not at the time. And but I had to wear glasses, and I was like the only kid in my class or whatever had to wear. So I was that guy for a little while. And then in middle school-ish, I got contacts. And at the time, you could get the soft lenses, but it wasn't like today with the disposable. Like you were protecting those things with your life. That was back in the day when they would stop a football game. Like a high school football game would stop because some kid lost his contact because it was like hundreds of dollars for those things. Now they just go get another pack.
Right.
They probably have them in their in their uniform. They just pull out another one, pop it in. But back in those days, man, it was like everybody stop. I lost the contact. But eventually, my eyes got so bad, like in high school, that I had to wear these little. They were called gas permeable. And I think that meant that, I don't know what the hell they were. They were hard. They were like little hard plastic things. And they were really difficult to get used to. But once you got used to them, you were fine with it. And they were super expensive. It was like $500 or something for a pair of those things. And
these were contact-like or actual glasses?
No, these were contacts. These were contacts.
Oh.
And what happened was when I was in my 20s, I was living in Nashville trying to play music and stuff. I was just flat broke. And I lost one of them. And I couldn't have, I had no money. You know what I mean? I barely had enough money to buy food that week. And so I was like, wow, I'll just wear these glasses. And what I did was I wore glasses long enough that I tried to put one in and my eye had readjusted or something. And it would just hurt. So I ended up just kind of giving up on them. Like I didn't buy them anymore. I tried a couple times over the years to wear contacts again, and even just a couple of years ago. And my eyes just will not take it. Of course, my eyes are so bad. I got about 8 inches. So if you're more than 8 inches, and these are socially distanced COVID times, so you're not getting, you know what I mean? 6 foot is forget about it. You are a blob.
You're a blob.
You're just a blob. I don't even know that there's somebody over there. You know what I mean? If you're wearing camouflage, I don't even see it. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely my eyes are terrible. So and I just can't work on
Are
it.
you bifocals or?
I'm there. You know, I've been,
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No. I don't have them yet. I don't have them. No. It's fine. I'm seasoned. I don't have them yet. But I totally need them.
Are you like? Do you have the chance to do that?
Well, there's this weird thing, and again, I wish we could just get some medical staff to watch this program and chime in, because there's this thing I do now where if I put my glasses out like this, I can see better. There's some angle, something where like if I'm looking at my phone, I can't see anything here, right? And then all of a sudden, like if I do this, it comes into focus. So wow. I spend a lot of time moving these around and moving in and out and holding stuff out here. Yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad. Survival of the fittest. Like before the 20th century, I would have been eaten by a tiger. It would have taken like 6 seconds, and I'd have been dead. Like This is the only reason that I made it through the whole Darwinian thing right here. These things.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Well, thank you so much, and it just so happens that this episode of 5x5 is what am I trying to say?
The Darwin
it's falling out of focus.
Yes. That's a good one.
I had nowhere to go with that at the end. Nowhere to go. But before we wrap up, I do want to say one thing. Did you guys know that 5x5 is part of the Candy Factory Collective?
It is?
Yeah. Yeah. 5x5, the Candy Factory 5x5 podcast is part of the Candy Factory Collective. That is a collective of shows, of podcasts and live streams that we do every week. We've launched, I think, 7 or 8 shows at this point. We've got another half dozen coming out in the next month or so. And it's a wide range of topics meant to inspire, to entertain, and to educate you on various topics. Just like this. This is an education. 5x5 is actually should be part of every good COVID virtual curriculum for youngsters.
We should be on PBS. That's what it's. No, I'm joking.
We should absolutely. Jamie, it has been a true pleasure to have you on the program today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Had a fun spending time with you guys.
You're like, get me the hell out of here. You're like, I appreciate it.
I gotta go. You gotta get to the goats.
Yeah.
Well, it's always a pleasure to see you as well, my friend Diggs. We will catch you next time on 5x5. The Candy Factory 5x5 podcast
is a proud member of the Candy Factory Collective. 5x5 video can be found on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
Subscribe to the audio version wherever you get your podcasts.
The Candy Factory 5x5 podcast is recorded at the studios of the Candy Factory,
a co-working campus in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
The show is produced and hosted by Jason Mundock,
along with co-host Robert Diggs.
Editing and additional production by Anna Tran.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast
are solely those of the expressor.
The Candy Factory is not in any way responsible if anyone said something stupid.
Our theme music was composed
and recorded by a really cool guy.
Really cool guy.
A really cool guy.
Really cool guy named John Chin.
Relevant links and show notes
can be found on the show post
at our website, candyfactorycollective.com.
Maybe that's it.
Is that it? Okay.
Candy Factory
Collective.